Hello, welcome back to MFWoodShop. I had the opportunity to go to the Atlanta Woodworking Show this year, and while I was there, I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to pull some people off to the side and do just a quick interview. A very impromptu interview, more of a quick Q&A. They took the time out to do this for me and for you. So go down in the description below and check their channel out or their social medias. Let's get on with the interviews. All right, so I grabbed Russ from the lobby. And so where are you from? How can people find you? And what do you bring to the woodworking community?
I'm from Central Florida, actually Mulberry, Florida. And I've come up here to the Atlanta Woodworking Show. You can find me under Simply Wooden Creations. SimplyWoodenCreations.com, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google+, you name it. Just type in Simply Wooden Creations into Google and you'll find me.
Okay. And really the last 2 years at least, maybe longer, you've been doing a weekly show on YouTube, live broadcast, featuring makers of the community, featuring artists and, what have you.
Right.
So how is that going, and where do you see that going in the future?
It's going really good. When I first started the show, the whole purpose of the show was to bring woodworkers and makers onto the show, regardless if they were as well known as Jimmy DiResta or a guy that only had like 20 followers or viewers on his YouTube channel. But they had a unique way of showing a tool or showing how they did something like wood burning or carving or anything, to bring them onto the show and have them show how they did the work, or how they did the scroll saw, or how they did the carving or whatever on the show live to a lot of people, to get people interested. For instance, I've never done any laminating, and I had Charlie Court that did veneering, not laminating, veneering, done veneering, come on the show and show people how to do veneering. I'm like, I've been really interested in doing veneering, and it showed a lot of people that maybe had never thought about it or knew how to do it, how to do veneering. So that was the whole purpose of the show, to take little or big people on YouTube and show other people how they did things to get them interested in the different things. Mm-hmm. The show's doing very well. I'm very happy with the way it's going, and what I see in the future, I'm pretty much, so far it's so good, it's worked out, so I'm pretty much going to keep doing the same thing and keep on inviting.
It's not broken, don't fix it.
It's not, exactly. So inviting other people and coming in to do the exact same thing.
And that's, you bring up a pretty good point, because when people want to interview somebody, they always go for what's hot today. Jimmy's pretty hot today.
Exactly.
And everybody wants to interview him, and for whatever reason, have him in the shot or in the background or whatever.
Or just his name.
Yeah, just his name.
Yeah, exactly.
But you bring up an interesting point, is you don't solely focus on that, because as great as Jimmy is, you can bring in somebody has 20 subscribers or new to the community and help them grow as well.
Exactly.
And someday, it may be 10 years or 5 years or even next year, they may be as big as Jimmy. And I think that's the coolest part about your show that I noticed. Even with some of the shows in the past, it was always about who is the biggest guy today.
Yes.
Or if we've already interviewed him, who's the next biggest guy?
Exactly.
And that was cool, and I understood market reasons why they did that, but there's so many creators out there today, and so many that we haven't even heard of yet.
Exactly.
And it's just mind-boggling when you can think about, the next Jimmy DiResta or the next, Peter Brown or whoever,
And you never know. It may be somebody that's just so, like I said, it may be somebody that has only 20 subscribers right now.
That's right.
5 years from now, 3 years from now, he could have 250, 300,000, 500,000 subscribers.
Right,
You never
right.
know. With YouTube, that's what the unique thing is about it. For some reason, you never know who might be the next one that's going to be the hot thing.
Right.
And that was the whole thing, and I'm glad you brought that out, is I don't care if you're little or big. If you have a desire to be on my show, all you got to do is contact me. And I would love to have you on the show. Mm-hmm. I just want you to be able to come on there and show something. It may be a router. And you may have a unique way you use the router or a unique way you use something. And you come on my show and show us how you do that. Somebody out there may have never thought about that or never seen it, and it may fix a problem that they have.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you nailed it, right? That's just a perfect way to explain it, There's, and I've said this throughout the day. I've done about 20 of these now, mm-hmm. and I've said this throughout the day. There's 200 ways to make a dovetail.
Exactly.
But you may know that 201 way, and I may take all those ways and create the 202nd way. There's just so many different ways to do it, and bringing the community together in events like this and shows like yours, it just ties it all together, and it's perfect. I think as a community, we all need to embrace each other more and share more of our content.
Right.
I've been doing this for 4 years now, and I have my opinions on my channel, and I'm sure you do, and everybody else does, but that's one thing good about it. It's my channel. I can take it wherever I want.
Yes.
And if I want to stay at where I'm at, that's where I'm going to stay.
And what makes it unique is about every person that brings it to YouTube, so to speak, is, and you touched on that, is just because we'll go back to the router, just because you use a router in a specific way or a specific way how you do something with it, it may not be the perfect way, it may not be what some people call the right way, but it's the way you do it. And I see that and I go like, you know what? I've been trying to figure that out for the last, week or two.
I call that the Izzy syndrome.
Yes.
Izzy has done so much stuff with the table saw that nobody would even think of. I mean, he made a bowling ball with a table saw.
How the hell can you do that?
Who can compete with that?
Exactly.
I mean, the question really comes up is, what's he going to do now?
Exactly, yeah.
But he never seems to fail.
No, he doesn't. And but that's, and you mentioned in the beginning something about what I think I bring to the community, and I didn't answer that, and I'm sorry I skipped over that. But what I think I bring to the community is I am trying to get everybody and anybody interested in making and woodworking. There's a lot of problems that we have out there today in our society, and I really think that if we could get some of our youth more involved into woodworking and making, rather than roaming the streets and stuff, that it would solve a lot of these problems. These kids out there are looking for things to do, all right? And they're going to do something either constructive or destructive. That's the way you look at it, right? Yeah. And so I would much rather have them doing something constructive and reach out to people and kids. I have a lot of young people that watch my show and send me emails and stuff that get them involved. They've taken a wood shop out of most high schools now.
Oh, yeah.
They've disassembled them. They've taken it all out. They don't have this feedback of using their hands anymore. And so if we can do that as makers, you, I, and every other people, reach out to these kids. If I get one kid that watches one of my shows and said, wow, he does scroll sawing. That's really cool. That's really unique. I'd like to try that. Yeah. To me, that's what it's worth all. So what I think I bring is I'm trying to show people about the different woodworkers and makers and how they do things and the different way that you can do things with the tools and everything to get more people involved and active in the woodworking making community.
That's perfect. Yeah, I mean that's simply what it is.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
But I do have a trivia question.
Okay.
I've been asking everybody a trivia question at the end of the interview, and I kind of hate to bring this up, but I do think it's kind of important. I know you're in Florida, and there was a tragedy that just happened in Florida.
Right.
The trivia question is, what was that travesty?
You've been talking about the high school shooting?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, down in I don't remember the name of the town or the city. That was a very devastating tragedy down there.
Yeah. And like I said, I hate to bring it up, but it is kind of an important subject because with that particular tragedy, I think it opened up a lot of young minds to what could happen, what does happen, and just the effects that it has on the country.
Right.
Not just that school. I mean, just the whole country. I mean, it was just phenomenal.
Right. It was. Well, that goes back to my point, though. And I know you don't want to dwell on it, but it goes back to my point is this young man had a lot of problems in his life, and there was a lot of red flags that they overlooked. But what would have happened is somewhere in this point in this young man's life if somebody had he'd have stumbled across a YouTube video or something out there, or he'd have went to a woodworking show or someplace where somebody was doing something making or something, and got this young man involved in that. You know?
Absolutely, yeah.
It goes back. They're going to find a way to do something constructive or destructive.
Absolutely.
He didn't have that constructive thing in his life,
right.
And he chose the destructive way in his life.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so important about what you do, what I do, and what the other Easy Swan and the rest of everything else does is to reach out to these young people. They've taken it out of our schools. They're not allowing to use their hand. They're all about computers and everything. They're great. I have to use a computer. I wouldn't have my YouTube channel if it wasn't for a computer. But you're taking out that way, that making thing, using their hands to actually carve, sculpt something with their hands or make something with their hands. You're taking that away from them.
It's a proud effect.
Yeah.
I'm proud of what I just did, and I'm going to show the world.
Yep.
And if you can get one person to do that, and they get one person to do that, now it's become something else.
Exactly.
It's worldwide, and I mean, we got people from out of the country here, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and better, in my opinion.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time it is. And I so much enjoy this, to be able to come to the... I've talked to you before. You've been on my show.
Yeah.
But to actually come to this show and actually be able to sit down with you and talk to you and meet you is really, really great.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the only reason we come is the community.
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
And
Thank you.
Go catch Russ on his show.
Yep. Somebody Wooden Creations. It's going really good. I had a unique way of showing a tool to get people interested and keep on inviting.
It's not broken, don't fix it.
It's not exactly. So they're going to find a way to do something constructive or destructive.
Quieter.
I might fall asleep over here.
Well, that's how it works.
Yeah.
You just sit around for about 5 minutes. All right, you ready? I have to think of another trivia question. So what brings you to the woodworking show?
You.
Me?
Didn't necessarily want this to turn into a Jimmy Love Fest, but Jimmy, we all love you.
So you're kind of like our den mother.
Sort of geeking out at a show like this and talking about the
easiest way to say it. We all kind of geek out.
Exactly.
It's our version of Comic-Con.
A community online can be just as strong as a friend you have just down the block.
I've already got the $20, so don't try to kiss it.
I just got get the hell out of here.
We all need baseball cards.